We are live for yet another edition of OMS 360 Between Two Molars. I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Josh Everts.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And our special guest, Kristen Leary of Donald Phillips Oral Surgery, DPOS here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
It is good to have you. Well, as we normally do, we start with a dad joke, and I have one this week. Dr. Everts is proud of me for having it.
Great.
The last time I was in Hawaii, I don't think I told you this, but our VRBO oven, we put a pizza in it and I burned it. So I realized I should have used the low temperature.
Great.
Good.
It only works in Hawaii.
Kristen, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
You know how this goes. Tell us something interesting that most people here don't know about you.
This is relatively easy for me. My coworkers, many of them know this about me, but no one at OMS 360 would know this about me. Do you guys know what Dragon Con is in Atlanta?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I am a Dragon Con person. I go down. I haven't been since COVID, but before, and I'm going to get back to it eventually, but before that, I would go down every year and I would dress up. I would do either make a costume, usually make a costume, make the props, all that kind of stuff, and then just dress up, go down, have a good time with 80,000 other people. And I started volunteering there. And so I worked in guest operations, which is where we go and we'll take the celebrity guests to their photo ops and their panels and things like that. So I would work to meet and just take people where they needed to go to get to their panels and things. And so one of the kind of highlights of that was, do you know the name Tom Kenny? Probably not.
No.
He's the voice actor for SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, no way.
And so he was one of the guests that I was assigned to. And I like really jived with him and his assistant. So like for most of the con, I was like just escorting him to different things. And that was just really cool. So yeah, like Dragon Con, doing the costume thing, the cosplay thing, and just kind of being
when you say dress up, are you dressing up as a dragon?
No. So it's anything that's kind of like sci-fi fantasy. So like one year it was Black Widow, and then there was like a Blue Lantern. So, you know, there's Green Lantern, the DC character, but there's like a whole rainbow of different colored lanterns. So superheroes and like cartoon characters.
What about the Millennium Falcon? Would that qualify?
Well, if I dressed as it.
So does Star Wars qualify?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, tons of Star Wars. Oh, and Star Trek. So like I have a duty officer.
Give her all she's got, Captain.
So I am a big nerd for sure. And Lego, anything cool. Lego, video games, like all that stuff.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That's great. Well, tell us a little bit about in the field of oral surgery. What do you love? Where is your passion inside of oral surgery?
Well, I, in general, love research. I love learning. I love problem solving. And so, especially within oral surgery, like I get to do all of those things. And so when I first started in 2003, so I started with Dr. Osborne about over 20 years ago. I started as an assistant. So I worked in like every part of the office. And so, you know, clinically, when I would be there, you know, I'd always be learning about new problems and ways to solve those problems and learning about anesthesia, and just the opportunities for kind of learning and growth have always been really good. And then I actually went back to school in 2007 and got my master's in library and information science with a focus on health sciences librarianship. And so then Dr. Osborne also had me like kind of doing research. So he bribed me. He got me to stay. I was going to go be a medical librarian, and he was like, stay here and I'll, you know, have you do some stuff for me. And I was like, cool. So, but yeah, just, you know, being able to problem solve and learn in a managerial sense too. So there's lots of that happens.
Yeah, super useful.
Yeah. And especially with Dr. Osborne didn't take call with Dr. Phillips. does take trauma call. And so that was something new for me. So when he started taking call, and I was like, okay, well, now I need to learn a whole new set of codes. And so, and we have Encoder Pro, and that's very helpful. But yeah, just, kind of digging into those sorts of things is really fun for me. And in oral surgery, there's a lot of opportunity to do that. And there's always new things happening. So
yeah,
well, I have to compliment your way you answer the questions there's like the whole journey of the story. I really love how you communicate. It must be great. It must be great to work with you.
Oh, well, thanks.
So a new question this week, and I'm sure Dr. Everts and I will have some follow-up questions to this, but in terms of, since your partnership with us here at Almost 360, what's the benefit you would share or something that's improved for you?
A lot. It's hard to even like pick one thing, honestly. So
Come on.
the biggest thing, really, it really is
No.
hard. It's just having this team of people that I can go to when I have a question about anything. Dr. Everts and I had talked about coding already. So when we were doing our schedule optimization meeting, there were a few codes that, we needed to kind of look at and, make sure we were coding correctly. And then just knowing that if I have a question about anything, there is somebody on the team or in another office. Like I came to visit Dr. Everett's office and met everyone there, and just sort of seeing how other people do things is amazing. I've been by myself for quite a while. So it's like, I've tried to teach myself a lot of things. So, reading the Amos coding papers and using Encoder Pro and different online courses and things like that. But now I have like human beings that I can come to and say, okay, am I doing this correctly? Or how do you do this? Is extremely
I'm excited about your answer
helpful.
because it's not, central team support here in Atlanta. Like what we talked about a lot in Nashville at the Leadership Summit, which you were at, right? All office
Yes.
managers and doctors. Yep. And, we were really hoping to build a strong community beyond a collection of logos and brands. And it sounds like you have had a chance to experience that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I met Sonia there and, was immediately like, okay, I want to come to your office and see how you do things. And then I'm just, talking to Angie and talking to, just anybody that I could kind of communicate with and see like, how do you do this or how do you do that? And because again, for me, it's like, I've kind of just tried my best for the last, several years. And now it's sort of like, it just makes me feel better and makes me know that I'm doing things correctly when I can, have a team to go to and ask those things.
That's awesome. We're coming up against 8 minutes, but I'm sure Dr. Everts might have a follow-up and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think, I think the answer itself kind of lends itself well to what everybody is experiencing across all these platforms. That was the goal in partnership was the partner, right? Being able to be a part of something bigger than just yourself. And I think I would probably reflect to everybody who's watching this how great a resource Kristen is. You're phenomenal. You've got great knowledge in terms of oral surgery. It sounds like you have the Dewey Decimal System all figured out. If in case anybody has questions there.
Yeah, I could handle that.
But really, if we're not utilizing each other, I think we're only scratching the surface of what this partnership is about. So you, in particular, have really taken advantage of that, and I applaud you for doing that. You're doing a great job of connecting with people. And if anybody watching this has not reached out, you obviously would be a great person to start. You've done a great job of just becoming a networker of sorts. So I appreciate you doing that. I think that's kind of the hidden secret about these organizations like ours is the network of people.
And I will admit, I was, a little afraid when we did this partnership because I didn't know what to expect. But it's been great. And I, talked to many people and I'm just like, I'm so excited. Like I get to, the growth potential is fantastic. And that's really exciting.
What a great sign off. Thank you, Kristen Leary, for being on the show. Dr. Everts for being the co-host. Always a pleasure. You all have a great weekend.
Thanks, Trevor.
You too.
Thanks, Kristen.
Okay,
See ya.
Bye.